So, Mark, did you see this picture of the escalators at Fashion Show Mall? As Las Vegas locally says, Las Vegas has the best broken escalator art in North America.
Because it's the only place that every escalator is broken, right? They got to do something with it.
At least we're getting creative. Come on, it's better than those yellow signs.
Next, there'll be signs that light up. It'll be all digital things they put in front of broken escalators.
Yes, put a screen in front of it. So great news to start the show. Oyo has apparently brought back $1 live dealer Blackjack. I think they got rid of it, what was it, about a year ago? Sometime last year when they got rid of it. We talked about it. Good news for you low rollers out there.
Yeah, I love that Las Vegas locally put in there, but sadly, still no Hooters because everybody misses Hooters Casino. No, this is cool. And a lot of people think that the dollar blackjack is the video blackjack, but this is an actual table. So it's kind of fun. It's always packed, though. They only probably have one most of the time. So you're going to be fighting for it. Go to like the $5 table next door and play that instead.
Yeah, I agree. Is it worth it to deal with all the hassle of doing it? And I do think they only have the one table there. So you're going to be fighting people to do it. And $5 blackjack, probably your best bet these days. Lots of options for that, thankfully. But don't you miss the days of $1 blackjack and partying all night?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun if you want to do something that just like kind of have a communal experience without spending a lot of money. This is the best way to do it. And hopefully they still give you free drinks. I think somebody said that they charged for drinks at that table. So maybe the $5 one is the better play there. But if you're getting free drinks for $1 blackjack, just sit there and low play it and get your buzz on for basically free.
Charging for drinks at a table should be illegal, even if you're only having $1 minimum. But, what about $2? Why is it $1 to $5? Come on, somebody come up with a $2 table.
Or a $4 bill. These are the questions, Sean.
Well, what about when you're sitting at a table and there's somebody who's fancy with the cards? This video, this guy's showing you why you should never play cards with strangers because he does every type of shuffle that you can imagine and surfaces the aces. And it's a really well done video. And just a reminder that people got some skills out there.
Yeah, it makes me think that magicians should just be card sharks. And maybe they start wanting to be magicians, they become card sharks. Kind of reminds me of Rounders, how Worm in there, Edward Norton Jr., can do the shuffle and make it so that he can give Mike or Matt Damon the cards that he wants or make a full house and all that stuff. So you never know if you're sitting at a table what they're able to do when they got the cards in their hand.
Yeah, I love the way he sort of laid this out by doing every single shuffle and then occasionally surfacing an ace at the top. It's a great video. Like I said, he's got some skills. And let's talk the airport for a second in Delta. But before we do that, Delta became the official airline of the Sphere, and they opened a new lounge there. And it's a little confusing to access, but I think you need to be a Sky Miles member. Then you can bid for access to an experience package. So it's not quite open to everybody, but it looks like a nice space, and Delta going all in with the Sphere.
I kind of love when they do things like this. So you see it at sporting events where maybe like Chase, they have a Sapphire Lounge or something kind of special for card holders. This is a little bit different where you're probably going to have to pay a big amount of Sky Miles to get in, I would assume. It's going to kind of go up in price. Maybe you'll get lucky on a slower night and be able to get in there cheaper. I'm guessing it's kind of like a bidding war type of thing, but we'll have to see how it plays out in reality. It would have been cool if it was like Delta Reserve card holders could get in by flashing their card or something, add a little bit of value to your card holder. And then also if you just buy a regular ticket, you can get in there. You have this little bit more of a premium experience. But I'm excited to have the opportunity. It's just a question of how much will it cost.
And staying with Delta, they have also announced that in 2029, they're going to be opening a new Delta Sky Club at the airport. And this is Las Vegas Airport really growing up. Remember, it was home to the first Centurion Lounge, but United has been the only airline that's had a lounge there for a long time. Back in the days, it was just United and a tiny club lounge, which is now becoming a Centurion restaurant. We got Capital One, we got Chase, Delta in 2029, an abundance of lounges.
Where are they fitting this? That's my question.
There was no announcement as to location, so we have no idea. I tried to find everywhere. I'm guessing the D gates, that's where all their flights are, and that's obviously where Centurion and Capital One is, United, so I'm guessing somewhere in there.
I do think Delta, at least in the last few years when they really refreshed their lounges, probably have the best of the big three of American, United, and Delta. They have the best airline co-branded type of lounge out there, I think.
As we've been teasing for a couple of weeks, we are getting ready to relaunch our Patreon next week. And up till now, we've just done our after show. For $5 a month, people have been able to access that. But we are expanding our content and adding tiers. So for $7, you'll be able to continue with the after show, everything as it is right now. We're adding a new all access tier, which will include behind the scenes content, occasional live streams, meetups, merch discounts, and an exclusive travel hacking savings guide to Vegas that we're really excited about.
Yeah, and we should note that if you sign up now at the $5 level, where it's been there since we launched several years ago, you get all of this. You get the $11 level locked in. Everybody's grandfathered in. So if you're interested in this, now's the time to really jump on it. As we talk about Vegas prices going up, we're giving everyone the opportunity to lock that in for life.
Absolutely. And we're extending the $5 through February 8th. An extra week for everybody to sign up at the old rate. And everybody who signs up, again, will get all of the new benefits through the all access tier. There's also an executive producer tier for people who want to support us more. Why are we doing this? Well, first off, we've added more content to the channel, which we're really excited about. So more publicly for you guys. But for those who want to support us, help us stay independent, help us do what we're doing here. This allows us to provide more content there while also keeping the channel growing and strong.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody that is willing to support us in that way. But if you're not and you just watch, we also appreciate that too.
And as I always say, thank you to everybody in our incredible Patreon community, and looking forward to all the new members. Come join us over there. But let's talk mimosas, the Mimosa Miner. On the last show, I talked about Strip Stumble's tipping guide, and I helped you avoid that whole conversation once again, but it was a little bit of a different take than the one we talked about a couple weeks ago. But Strip Stumble's on a roll with a lot of great content, and just want to point that out. This Mimosa Miner, we've talked about Strip Stumble's bottomless brunch map that they created before, but this is a whole interactive display, so you can go in and set all of the characteristics you want, price, location, buffet, non-buffet, all that sort of stuff. And it works really nice, and another great tool from Strip Stumble.
Do we think that Strip Stumble runs the social media account for Four Queens?
No, I don't. It's a little bit different style. Come on.
No, but it's like very 90s feeling when you go to this in the best way possible. Like, I love it. I think it's amazing, and it's very functional, very useful. It just kind of gives me that throwback to the golden years of the internet before it became what it is now. And I really enjoy that part of this.
I follow him on X, and he just has a great excitement for what he's doing, and I love to share that. And this is a unique tool because bottomless brunches have sort of become the thing in Vegas. If you look around, everybody has one.
That and Speakeasy, right?
Yeah, exactly. So go check it out. Lots of cool maps, always good stuff on Strip Stumble's website. But let's talk MGM for a second. They recently announced that basically during the daytime, all of their resorts in Southern Nevada are going to be running on solar power. They just made a new deal to get even more power than they had before. They also have some solar panels on Mandalay Bay and stuff like that. But on a regular sunny day during the daytime, they will be powered by solar energy. Of course, not at night, Mark. There's too many lights.
Well, and not at New York, New York.
See, that's the problem. We just didn't get enough sun that day.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy that they're announcing this right after they had a power outage at one of their properties, which, we had driven by this. What was it, last year? We drove by the solar farm and saw it, and it's impressive. It's big. And I was kind of thinking that, like, oh, I guess they didn't get enough sunshine that day when they ran, but I'm sure it was some other issue that caused that.
And for you nerds out there, MGM now has access to 115 megawatts of solar energy and 400 megawatt hours of battery storage, which basically doubled what they were doing before. So good stuff there. Lots of solar, lots of desert to turn into solar arrays.
Yeah, it's good to see them moving to solar. We've seen or heard about the mirror array and all the problems that they've had there. And I think it was like frying birds at one point.
Yes, the birds will thank them for the solar.
I don't know why.
It's so terrible. But let's talk Vegas Loop for a second. Fontainebleau is the latest Vegas Loop addition. And this is funny, Mark, because if you're standing on one end of Fontainebleau by the convention center, you could walk maybe 50 steps and get to the Riviera station at the convention center, but they have a Vegas Loop station that now connects to the Riviera. So they have a tunnel now, I guess, under Fontainebleau. You can get it on the V1 level. This will tie into the larger system, the airport rides, all of the stuff that I talked about on the last show. So good on Fontainebleau. I mean, what do they have to dig, like 4 feet?
Well, I mean, it depends on where you're at the facility. So sometimes we joke about all the time how it takes forever to walk past one casino. Same thing goes for walking to the backside of it and everything that goes with that. But this is good for Fontainebleau. Hopefully it brings more people in from the greater area, that little area there from the convention center should help drive a little bit more traffic. And then once we see the greater loop open, it'll be a lot easier to get to that part of the strip.
And I wanted to add one correction from the last show. The Vegas Loop to the airport, I showed that whole experience. It's $12 per person, which kind of sucks. But if you're by yourself, a great deal. When you start adding more people, probably not.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you see with like trains. If you have four people and you're paying four tickets for trains, it's a lot less cost effective versus just all hopping in a car and driving together. I mean, there's other perks of it that you don't have to worry about traffic and things like that. But this gets pretty steep if you have 3 or 4 people getting in that car.
It's dumb. When have we ever charged per person to do a ride? Like, I don't know. This is dumb. I get how the system is started and why it's set up in that way, but I don't know. They're going to have to evolve that. You've seen the show. Now get the merch, mtmvegas.shop. We have shirts, hoodies, hats now available. Get them now. So let's talk Raiders for a second, and specifically Allegiant Stadium, the stadium that we funded with a lot of public money to give Mark Davis, a team that's worth billions and billions of dollars. But they came out with their 2025 economic impact report, or their impact report, saying how the stadium affected the city as a whole, basically justifying why it's here. And here's some interesting stats from that document. 864,531 visitors attended 30 events at Allegiant. I felt like it should be more than that. 62% of attendees came to Vegas specifically for the event at the stadium. 123 million spent on visitors that went to the stadium. 179 million spent on gaming from those visitors, and overall 1.1 billion economic impact. I wonder who did these numbers.
Yeah, was it our buddy? I'd love how they just throw out economic impact. I'm with you. I would have thought there would have been more events than that at the stadium. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. Are they not counting Raiders games? I guess there's only 8 Raiders games because they're not in the playoffs. So maybe 22 other events there as well.
UNLV too.
Yeah, that's true. This doesn't add up. Was there not that many concerts? It just seems like there should be more than that. Maybe they're I don't know. We'll have to go look at their schedule to see what this all is. But they also talked about their sustainability donations program, and that was interesting. 500 plus pounds of unclaimed items were donated from the stadium. 39 unclaimed electronics donated to the 911 cell phone bank. Only 39. I would have thought more cell phones would have been left behind. 300 plus bags collected for the bag donation program. I thought those numbers were low too. The visitor numbers look good, but all these confiscations, not enough.
Well, I mean, people don't want to leave their phones behind. It's like $1,000 right there. So I'm not too surprised that they're not leaving it, but it seems weird that, hey, if you leave something at Raider Station, they're going to donate it. I guess it's going to good use versus being thrown away. But you think a lot of people would come back for those things, especially the higher ticket items. Yeah, I never even thought about this, that they do these things.
Yeah, you would think with just millions of people going through there that's going to happen, and naturally. And once you lose something in a hotel, even the hotels in Vegas, they're so big and they could be so bureaucratic. If you leave something in the room, forget about it.
Yeah, once I left my passport in the safe, I forgot to grab it before I checked out when I was staying in Canada at the Windsor Casino there. And I ran back to the hotel. We went to breakfast. Then I realized it before I crossed the border, went back to the hotel. They had already been cleaned. They already cleaned out the safe. I had to go down to security and get it. And I was surprised at how easy it was there.
Hey, sometimes things go the way that they're supposed to. As somebody who's left a couple pairs of AirPods in hotel rooms, yeah, you're not getting them back.
My wife left some cheese in a hotel.
And let's close with this. The Best of Las Vegas Awards just came out, and I went through, tried to find some of the quirkiest things, some of the more interesting things. As a reminder, this poll has been around for a very long time. It is owned by the Las Vegas Review-Journal, and the way these winners are chosen is by the public voting, which leads to some very interesting winners. But let's start best casino promos, Mark. Arizona Charlie's?
Yeah, I don't... A lot of these were kind of surprising. I mean, I know it's driven more towards locals, so you're going to get a different perspective versus a tourist and when they're staying on the strip. But I was kind of surprised that won it.
Yeah, I don't know a ton about Arizona Charlie's program. Obviously, that's also the Strats program, PT's Pub, things like that. So it goes well beyond just Arizona Charlie's. But let's talk hotels. Best budget-friendly hotel. Sam's Town won overall. I think this is really good. The Atrium, I don't know the rooms there, but I would imagine that's pretty good. Virgin River out in Mesquite, I don't know how their rooms are lately, but that's a nice resort. I wouldn't quite consider it in this market. And then the Sin City Hostel, Mark, won bronze.
Yeah, I've never heard of the Sin City Hostel. I'm not much of a hostel person. I know I used to stay in hostels sometimes back in the day. But how is this the most boutique hotel? I even looked it up before the show and looked at some pictures, and I don't know how that wins best boutique hotel. It looks like a place you get murdered in.
Yeah, the picture on the Best of Las Vegas site is not the best. It looks like an old motel. But as you said, it also, so it was third in best budget friendly hotel. It won bronze, but it won gold for best boutique hotel, Sin City Hostel. Clearly, they're getting all the young kids to vote over there. I have heard good things. It has a very good reputation as a hostel, but it is a hostel nonetheless. The second best boutique hotel is the Bent Inn, and then the Retreat at Charleston Peak. So no Cromwell.
The Google reviews were really good for the hostel, so I think that's a fun place if you're younger and you want to get to meet people. Always a good time at hostels. I just had never heard of it. I was surprised that it did so well.
Yeah, if anybody has any experience staying there, let us know down in the comments. Downtown Hotel El Cortez won, California second, Circa third. Not a surprise, El Cortez having this reimagining and a lot of popularity among online people. Best hotel lobby went to Venetian. I can agree with that. Bellagio second. Tuscany third. I'm going to try to find some video of the Tuscany lobby. I think I have some. It is not anything. I mean, when you put the Venetian and the Bellagio next to Tuscany, I don't get this at all.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised there. I mean, I would even put Samstown up there if you consider the atrium a part of it's kind of a part of the lobby. It's weird. Maybe people don't think of it that way, but I think that one's a really cool one, undervalued.
It's definitely part of the lobby. The registration's in there. I would say that absolutely counts. There's like a seating areas in there for the lobby part of it. So yeah, Samstown people, check that out if you haven't been. The atrium there is incredible. Hotel Casino Service, Boyd won number one, Ellis Island second, and then Silverton was third. Best paying slots, here we go. Station Casinos was first. That's just not my experience. El Cortez second, Ellis Island third. So you can see the repeats here. It's a lot of businesses that do a good job of mobilizing their customers to go vote.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with Ellis Island. I think it's always been good customer service in there. I don't know the Boyd. I don't know how that wins best customer service.
Well, the downtown, the Hawaiian aspect, it's very, it's really interesting with Boyd when you go between their local properties and their downtown properties. I will say we stayed at Fremont last year. That was a great experience. The service, the people, the atmosphere there, they did a really good job. And they have a lot of loyalty with their Hawaiian clientele. And I imagine that probably leads to a lot of votes.
Yeah, I think this is all about who's best at like you said, capturing those votes and getting people to participate. And it's interesting to see who's able to do that. And that means they have loyalty built in.
So a couple other quick ones. Best coffee shop / diner, the Brass Fork / Lucky Penny at Station Casinos won gold. And that's with those late night specials. We talked about those recently on the show, the $2.99 specials and all of that. But they've always had decent coffee shop food. Number two is the Rainbow Club out in Henderson. And they always have crazy specials. The thing about this coffee shop, Mark, is it's tiny. And every time I've been in that casino, there's 8 million people waiting to sit down. But the prices are super cheap there. And everybody likes the food. And then Jerry's Nugget won bronze, famous for their prime rib. Just hope you can stay safe going inside.
We brought up that too much already this episode, but no, we've talked about that place a couple times now, and I definitely need to get in there and see it for myself.
Fun Vegas fact, growing up in Las Vegas, Jerry's Nugget, I don't know if they still make all of their desserts in-house, but they used to make all their cakes in-house, and their strawberry cake was the best thing I ever had. And I used to get that for my birthday every year as my birthday cake from Jerry's Nugget, along with some prime rib. It's a great place. I got to get back over there and try that prime rib again. And finally, let's talk best strip hotel. I think a lot of you guys probably care about that. And the winner is Venetian. They won gold, Bellagio silver, Wynn bronze. This is all messed up.
You're just mad because Wynn wasn't gold. But I think those are the top three that most people would put just maybe in different orders. I could see why people would like the Venetian the best, especially locals. I think it offers a lot dining wise and then entertainment wise. So I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, overall, these are interesting. And I think there's a million categories. And I'll put a link down you guys can go through for restaurants, for all kinds of travel related stuff, for other types of businesses. So if you live here, it's a good way to sort of find it. But like I said, it's a good way to see which businesses have a loyal fan base. And that's really what it comes down to. It's not about objectively reviewing what is the best, but yeah, always a fun time when this comes out. I think this has been coming out as long as I've lived here. And let us know what you guys think about any of those things down below. As a reminder, we do 3 shows a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and we will be back in a couple days with another show. Thanks so much for watching. Go join us on the Patreon. Talk to you next time.
I'm going to go party at the hostel next time.
Have a good week, everybody.